And I decided to go live tonight because we need to talk about a short that I made about who the Constitution protects. Anyway, I'll wait for a few people to get in, but we need to have a serious discussion on this because I don't think some people understand uh, the Constitution, okay? But anyway, I'll wait for a few people to filter in. Uh, this is where I'm at. Fencing out here. This is one of the lakes we're fencing around. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, yeah. Here you understand what freedom and liberty is out here. And you get, that, I don't know, you get close with God, and I don't want to bring up God, but I don't know. You understand the gifts he gave you, I guess. So I'm out here loving it. Sun's coming up. The wind's finally dying down. Thank God. It's been windy all day, but I am in the Panhandle of Nebraska, and that's it. Rain. The wind just blows. This is called the Sand Hill. This is the Sand Hills, by the way. Yeah, we got a big old beach right in the middle of the country. And we got the sea breezes to go with it. Anyway, nice and isolated out here. But as soon as I get a few people in, I'm going to go into the subject. Like I say, we need to discuss the Constitution of the United States. Okay? Because I think a lot of people are confused. We'll wait about 30 more seconds here because I can't wait. I've never had a short that had this much. Well, I have. Knee-jerk reaction, I have made them. But, this is beyond stupid, okay? That's all I got to say. Compassion is one thing, but laws in our Constitution are another thing, okay? But I don't know, maybe YouTube won't even let nobody come to my live stream. My channel's kind of taken off the last couple days, and, they're a little upset about it, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the Constitution of the United States and who it protects, okay? That would be American citizens. The first line of the Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States." Okay? That is what we fought our revolution for. Okay, the Constitution did come out till 6 years after the Revolutionary War had ended. Did I serve? Yes, I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. I'm a Ronald Reagan Marine and Bush. And Clinton, thanks to the force reductions, I got forced out. $12,000 in a thank you. Okay, so it's clear. How are you? Just fine. But anyway, the Constitution does not protect everybody in the world, even if you're here. If you're not an American citizen, the Constitution doesn't protect you. But you come to this country and break the laws, you will be subject to the laws that we got in this country. But you don't have constitutional rights. You get to sit there and observe it. You get to experience them. Just hold on a second. What's up? Huh?
Can you follow me out to that panel?
I'll close the panel when I go out. That's the gal who was helping me put up fence today. I'm going to cruise that. I served 10 years as a Marine. So did I. Did you get on ship? I was in a deploying unit out of Camp Lejeune. Spent a lot of time at sea and stuff. But anyway, and I know as a Marine, you never took an oath to protect and defend foreign nationals, okay? But there's no way. American citizens. There is one time, though, it doesn't protect you as an American citizen. If you go over to another country, break the law, you are subject to their law, and no matter what our Constitution says, it cannot protect you. So that would mean that the Constitution has boundaries. Hey, did you serve in the Army? No, I was in the Marine Corps. 1985 through 1994. So, and I did my time at sea. I've been to Diego Garcia. I'm a shellback. I've been across the equator. I got a year on ship. Okay. But I don't think I served. This is one thing. I served to protect the speech I didn't agree with. Okay. I didn't sit there and protect an echo chamber. I went there to protect Americans, whether they agreed with me or not. That's why a lot of these people that are alive, especially when they were, my age, when I was serving, and they, look down upon me. It's like, well, you're living a pretty good life, though. You like it, though, right? You didn't have to sacrifice, but I did. But let's get back to the subject, okay? You can go back to my videos and see my Marine Corps stuff. But the Constitution does not cover non-American citizens. It doesn't. It's the Constitution of the United States of America. We, the people of the United States. First line of it. Doesn't say nothing about foreign nationals. I don't know what they could possibly be teaching in school these days. I mean, this is not the American history we were taught. This is not the Constitution we were taught. This is ridiculous. Why don't we just sit there and say we're all covered under the Soviet Union, the old Soviet Union Communist Manifesto? Why don't we all just say that? I mean, if the Constitution covers everybody, then why do we have the United Nations? What are they there for? I mean, if the Constitution covers everything, then I guess Donald Trump's king of the world. Who wants that? I don't. I mean, these comments I'm getting are retarded. I didn't agree with Donald Trump either when he decided he was going to sit there. Well, if you're a rich business owner and you want to bring your business to the United States, you can buy your citizenship or fast track it for $5 million. Has American citizenship become that cheap? That we just give it to anybody who can cross the border illegally? Or somebody who's rich enough to do it the right way? Okay, to sit there and think because you reside in this country, the Constitution, you have a right, the same rights I do. No, you don't. I mean, you're here either on a green card, a visa, some special, a passport. You're here, not as an American citizen, as a foreigner. I remember that judge ruled that illegal aliens can have Second Amendment rights. They'll take them from us, but give it to people that aren't even citizens of this country. And that's one thing I'm going to go into a little story, right? 2 years ago, up here, I'm not going to say where, but 2 Hondurans. Now, see if us Americans would get away with this. 2 20-year-old Hondurans. Breaking the law, carrying shotguns and everything, right? What did they shoot and kill? They shot and killed a bald eagle. A bald eagle. And the whole county was in uproar about it. But this was when Biden was in office, right? Okay, so they're breaking all these laws and they're mad at the sheriff. Why don't you do something? Because it's a federal crime. I can't do nothing. So they got off scot-free. But if I sit there and find a mummified bald eagle out here, I can't even pick one of its feathers, or I'll get 25 years in prison. He said that he would make America great again. You know what the only thing that's going to make America great again? Not our government anymore. We need to reinstate the Constitution. And we obviously got 2 sides of this. The only thing that's going to end it is a fight. Okay, the fight's coming. So everybody better prepare for the fight. Okay? Because I guarantee you, the biggest military in the world right now is all of us American vets. All the vets that they have created over the last 35 years. Remember, we've been at war for 35 years. Okay, and we can run all the equipment on the bases, take over the base, not have a single problem. It's coming down to a fight. We need to get big money. Donald Trump going to fix. How are you going to, even if he was, I don't follow no politician. Okay, but he was definitely the better choice than the number one communist in the country, Kamala Harris, and the number two, Tim Walz. And don't tell me about Tim Walz because I had to live in Minnesota under that prick. It was hard. Gives you nightmares, like I was living in East Berlin. Okay, but the Constitution covers everybody. Covers everybody. Hey, if you're born in some Amazon jungle somewhere, don't worry. The United States Constitution covers you. Who is that stupid? Who is teaching this garbage? Yeah, our education system has a lot to do with everything that's going on. Yeah, why weren't we just covered under the Communist Manifesto? And like I say, you say that, then Donald Trump is king of the world because the U.S. Constitution is king. Hey, now has it, how was it in war? It sucks. But you know what? Over there, here, I'll be fighting for my family, my kids, my grandkids on my own soil. And I was highly motivated back then. I'll be extremely highly motivated now. My children and my grandchildren, well, my children are already having kids, but will not grow up in this garbage. My grandson has to go to school in Minnesota with 2 litter boxes in his room, in his classroom, because 2 kids think they're furries. I didn't think animals were allowed in school. So I'm experiencing it firsthand. But my grandson gets punished for teasing these people. He goes home and says, Mom and Dad, what's wrong with these kids? You know, that's the thing in this country. You know, the government's supposed to, it's the Constitution, number 1, restricts the government. It handcuffs the federal government. And puts it that they must protect the borders, our pursuit of happiness, our rights, God-given rights. Okay, the government didn't give us rights. They're just guaranteeing they're going to protect the rights that God gave us. You can go live in another country where the government decides they're going to take those rights from you. Whatever, I don't care. God, I can't believe it. I worked my ass off today. Probably put up 3/4 miles worth of fence, posts and holes. I'm still hot about it. I mean, who wants to go to war with me? You want to see a crazy-ass combat Marine? You guys got to push for that? I'll do. You know, I took an oath, and I'll give my life to defend the Constitution of the United States. All these morons run around saying this shit. Are you willing to die on that hill? Are you? You know, this country, the Constitution of the United States, is the best government document out of all the countries. No, exactly. Because our founding fathers were treated so much like shit by King George. But they knew it was going to happen again. I mean, Thomas Jefferson, the tree of liberty should be watered every 20 years by the blood of tyrants and patriots. He said every 20 years. I don't even know where to go with that. I mean, I don't know how stupid people can get. Oh, you're in here illegally. The Constitution protects you. Another thing, Constitution doesn't protect. Lawbreakers. If you're in the process of doing a crime, the Constitution does not protect you. Okay? So you cross the border illegally, how the hell is the Constitution protecting you? You know, I didn't think I was going to come close to my golden years and have to fight a war in my own gall-darn country. Okay? Do you think that was my retirement plan? But I tell you another thing my retirement plan wasn't. To be taken over and controlled and become a slave. Is it hard in the war? Yeah. Become an animal. Okay, all you people that want this shit, all you people that play your Call of Duty and think it's fucking tough. Till you fucking stand next to your buddy's brains get blown out. Oh yeah, there they shoot back and the bullets actually hurt you. Or the artillery, or the bombs. You're on a hillside and they light up the whole hillside. It don't matter where you're at, you're dead. Like I say, you better be sure you want to die on that hill because you're probably going to. And it better be worth something. And, nobody's, and then this is another thing in war. Nobody gives a shit how you feel. Especially the enemy. Okay? It's nice if human beings could just decide to end this shit. But no. But, this is what happens. You got people thinking, oh, the Constitution protects everything. And it gives you the right to be a complete loser moron and do absolutely stupid things. The Constitution handcuffs the government and gives you rights so you can pursue your happiness. It doesn't give special rights to special groups. I know these people want to be treated like they're normal, but they call themselves special. Just saying. Anyway, but Donald Trump ain't gonna fix this because I don't agree with any politician. But a lot of things he talks about, he didn't say on the campaign trail. I'll just say that. But, Kamala Harris she didn't know how to tell the truth. She didn't know how to say anything. This is the thing. Out of all the Democrats and all the Republicans, this is the best common man or common woman we could come up with. I mean, we got a choice in this country between that rich asshole or that rich bitch. Who say they understand how we live. When Kamala Harris is wearing what, a $60,000 necklace to a photo op on the border? I'm just saying. That's who we got to choose from now. Okay, remember too, they wanted to make George Washington king. George Washington, one thing he did not want to do, he was getting sickly. He was president 2 terms, but he was sick. And he didn't want to run the second term, and he was talked into it because he didn't want to die in office and become, like a Ramses the First type situation. Because they want to make him king. After we fought the revolution, beat the British, after a few years, they want to make him king. Just like Napoleon became emperor after France had their revolution. Got rid of the king and they decided to make an emperor. But George Washington, smart man. Anyway. But I tell you what, all those people that fought the revolution, whether they came from another country and fought here, because we had lots of people from foreign countries that fought in our revolution. But they did it because, remember, North America was a dumping ground for garbage, okay? Criminals. And they wanted to be part of the greatest thing on earth that was happening at the time and up till that time. People fighting for freedom against the king. Not for money, not for land, but to be free men. Nobody understands what that means anymore. Thanks to Bill Clinton, we got a police state. I'm going to put 100,000 more cops on the street and make the country so much safer. Oh, how did that work out? But every cop's got his own cop car now. Heck, when I was growing up in a county, you maybe had a sheriff. In a bigger county, it's 2 deputies, and they shared a car. with maybe an extra in the garage. Wonder why taxes were so low. Anyway, I don't think we're going to have a revolutionary war or a civil war. We're going to have a war, I would say, to reinstate the Constitution. Back to the Attorney General, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of State, and the Secretary of War, which is now Defense. 4 secretaries. That's all the government was allowed to be in our lives. And that was all to protect us. Now what do we got? Oh, well, I'm in agriculture. Let's see. The agriculture department, what the hell do we need government stooges that never even grew anything, don't even know what a cow looks like, running agriculture? Department of Education. I'm not even going to go there. Heck, we got people that think the Constitution covers everybody in the world. Anyway, it's been a long day, but these, how are we going to fix the problem? How are you going to sit there and convince somebody of facts when they've been taught wrong their whole life? Here, you want to see where I'm at? This is where I'm fencing. This is the Sand Hills in Nebraska. These lakes out here like this, they're everywhere up in the Sand Hills. They're fed by the Ogallala Aquifer. So, yep, this is where I'm spending my time. This is why, like I say, I understand freedom. Yep. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam. I won't quit my day job. But I tell you what, the trophy bucks out here are crazy. And they all got their armadillos with them. Oh, but anyway, and then the wildlife out here is just like, it's windy now, but you have swans, geese, cranes, ducks. It's just crazy. But anyway, this is why I feel freedom. This is one thing politicians will never understand, because they couldn't survive a day out here. I mean, I finally found some place where I get enough service so I can do a live stream. But the town that I'm staying by now is unincorporated. Unless the town's a county seat in this area, you're an unincorporated town. You have a post office. That's it. In a town of maybe, 50, 60, 70 people, but the county seats maybe a couple hundred. I mean, these are counties that have less than 1,500 people in them. Yeah, a whole county, less than 1,500 people. When you have, one person for every 20 square miles and stuff. It's just freedom. Anyway, but getting back to the Constitution. Our schools need to start teaching the facts, okay? And stop teaching feelings. Anyway, there's no way, if you're not an American citizen, and that's another thing. If you're born in America, you're an American citizen. They need to get rid of that shit. They need to get rid of that shit. How many times has that been abused? And I'm not talking by illegal immigrants. I'm talking about wealthy people. Come here, they buy some property, get a land. The wife has a baby here. All of a sudden, they got an anchor baby. That law is stupid. That's got to change. Okay, you need to be born from Americans to be an American. And I don't want to sit there and say we're special and need special treatment, should it be like that. But no. People we're not a melting pot because we had sex with other nationalities. We're a melting pot because these people from other countries came here because they want to be free and independent and have rights and become Americans. That was one thing back in the day. All those immigrants knew that to be a good American and be successful, they had to know English. And that's why they all learned it. But now, Trump wants to make English the national language. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tim Walz was bragging about there were 55 languages being spoke in Worthington, Minnesota in the school. Now, most people would sit there and say, God, that must be a town of 1 million or so. At least a couple 100,000, huh? About 6,000 people. Yeah. Extremely small town. It's on the interstate. It's on Interstate 90 in Minnesota. Yep. Town of 6,000 people has a school with 55 languages being spoken in it. I wonder how much teaching's getting done. I wonder how much extra money's having to be spent at that school for that one student that speaks Swahili. Anyway, but yeah, Trump ain't gonna fix it. No Democrat's gonna fix what's going on. Okay, it says in the Declaration of Independence, which is law, Amy Comey Barrett. Okay, that we can throw off our guards and put in new guards to secure our future. We are ordered to. We are charged by our founding fathers to take action when this happens. All we need is somebody to organize. All we need is that leader to step up, but it's not Donald Trump. Okay? It's going to be somebody we don't even know yet. Somebody that's going to be like, oh God, I can't remember. The first, when Rome went to war one time, when they were still small, they didn't even have all of Italy yet. Leonidas, I think might have been his name. But anyway, the Romans called him to lead their country. He was a farmer, but they all respected him and God, I can't believe I can't remember that. But anyway, he took charge of the army and conquered the enemy. And they want to make him emperor. And this is what George Washington based himself on. You know what he did? I want to go back to my fields. I don't want to lead. He gave up absolute power to become another humble servant to his people. Back when Rome was great. Just starting out, kind of like when we were great starting out. But anyway, we trash our Constitution and say it's just for everybody. Like I say, Donald Trump's king of the world then. Everybody's a United States citizen. We're good to go. I don't think Xi Jinping or Putin or the supreme leader in Iran or even Macron's going to agree with that. Anyway, it's stupid logic. And then, I had a lot of long comments, and they're, emotional and da-da-da-da-da, and they think they got a logic. But it's we, the people of the United States. How do you get past that? Just like Obama said that the welfare clause in the Constitution is what allowed him to do Obamacare, but said it wasn't a tax. And then the Supreme Court upheld Obamacare because they said it was a tax, because the government has the right to tax, because it has the power to tax. So I don't forget much. Anyway, I've been going on for almost a half hour. I'm sure I'll get lots of comments from people on this. I don't really care. If my history teacher would have told us when I was going through and my American history teacher was a Marine, football coach, athletic director, what a surprise. If he would have sat there and said that the American Constitution was for foreigners, he'd have got fired. One thing I don't understand, I got a question. How do they teach health class now? If men can turn into women, and women can turn into men, and men can have babies, How do they teach health class now? I would love to sit through health class because, you know, the teacher's not allowed to offend anybody. So they're not even allowed to teach class. How do doctors go through doctors training now? I mean, are doctors getting trained on how to deliver babies from men now? I mean, I shouldn't laugh. Our country's completely falling apart. And the more that these people, when the more they get the truth thrown in their face, they get angry, okay? And they get angry at the messenger. But they, you know, this same thing after World War II, when education became compulsory in Germany again, there were 20-some-year-olds in 4th grade class because they realized the Nazis had indoctrinated them and not educated them. So you had 20-year-olds in 4th grade class going through school to get an education. You tell me we ain't gonna have the same thing here? Because if we don't get this younger generation educated, at least to the level we are at, who's gonna take over for us? Anyway, yep. I took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they should put in there, and stupid ones. The Constitution is not a blanket document that covers everybody, like a blanket pardon that the Democrats have. Trump needs to shoot them down, because the last thing I want is Trump at the end of this term doing a bunch of blanket pardons. Blanket pardon. You know, a pardon, you got to be charged with, you got to be found guilty of something to be pardoned from something, not something you might have been that you done. Anyway, that's just another thing where the Constitution is trashed. Trashed. Ruled by executive orders because Congress has no balls anymore. Seems like, you know, if Democrats just figure out a way to win the midterms, what's going to be their first order of business? Oh, I know, to impeach Trump. Well, good. Then you're going to get stuck with a jarhead for 10 years instead of 8 years. So anyway, everybody have a great day. This is Tom. I'm out.